Good afternoon. This dispute concerns the condition in which the tenant Sue Williams vacated a property she rented 32 Green Street, Graceville on 14th of March 2024. Unfortunately, the property was not vacated in the same condition as when she took on the lease back in March of 2023. We addressed this issue immediately with the tenant, however she refused to acknowledge our concerns and will not return to the property to clean it up. Acting on behalf of the landlord, we therefore then organised quotes for the cleaning of the internals of the house and for the removal of rubbish in the backyard to bring the property up to the standard it was originally leased back in 2023 in March. When we completed the RTA Form 14A Exit Condition Report, we took photos to cross-reference the condition of cleanliness of the house against the photos attached to the RTA Form 1A Entry Condition Report and completed at the commencement of the lease. We noted a significant difference between the photos taken at the commencement of the lease to those taken when the tenant vacated the property. The property convincingly proved the tenant had not cleaned the house or backyard prior to vacation, and the property was not left in the same condition as it was beginning of the tenancy. Specifically, the bathrooms and kitchen were not clean, the oven and fridge hadn't been cleaned out, and the floors had not been mopped or carpets vacuumed. The tenant had also left a lot of rubbish scattered around the backyard. The backyard of the property at the commencement of tenancy presents neat and tidy. There was absolutely no rubbish in the backyard whatsoever. We spoke to the tenant and raised our concerns the same day she vacated the property. Immediately after we had inspected the property, an hour after she had returned the keys to the agency. We advised the tenant that the property needed to be cleaned up and handed over in a similar condition to that in which she moved in. We provided the tenant with photographic evidence of when she took on the lease and photographs at the same time of vacation of the property to clarify what she needed to be done. Unfortunately, the tenant will not address the issues with the property and had refused return to the property clean-up. Therefore, we were left no alternative than to organise quotes for cleaning and rubbish removal. The cleaning of the house quote came back at $500, which involved cleaning the kitchen, oven, fridge, cleaning 2 bedrooms, laundry, mopping the wet areas and vacuuming the house throughout. We also received another quote of $400 to pick up and remove all rubbish scattered around the backyard of the property, mow the lawn and tidy up the gardens. Unfortunately, the tenant is refusing to pay the 2 cleaning amounts for the house and backyard. She does not believe there is an issue and believes the property was left in a fair and clean state and that no rubbish was left in the backyard. We have had several discussions with the tenant trying to encourage her to come to the party and clean up the property as per the photos at the beginning of the lease. However, considering she has no intent in doing so, we provided the Form 16 dispute resolution to the Residential Tenancy Authority requesting a conciliation process between ourselves and an RTA consolator and the tenant. The evidence we have on hand to support our claims are copies of photos and the routine entry inspection checklist, RTA Form 1A Entry Condition Report, copies of the photos and the routine exit inspection checklist, RTA Form 14A Exit Condition Report, a copy General Tenancy Agreement Form 18A, a quote to remove rubbish from the property, a quote to clean the internal living areas of the house, and the Form 16 Dispute Resolution Form. For your information, we have provided all this information to the tenant by email to prove to the tenant she had definitely not left the house in the same condition as when she took on the lease. Although the tenant has advised us that she believes the property was cleaned when she vacated it, we don't believe someone could have entered the property at the same day as she vacated the property, dumped rubbish in the backyard and dirtied up the living areas of the house. The property simply appears to not have been cleaned. The oven, fridge, kitchen and bathroom areas were left extremely dirty. Rubbish had been dropped all around the backyard and is scattered amongst overgrown gardens and a lawn which has not been mowed. We completed the exit inspection within a couple of hours and the tenant dropping back the keys at the real estate office. Therefore, we don't believe anyone could have entered the property and dirtied up the house and backyard in that time. It simply appears to not have been cleaned. We have tried several times to resolve the dispute with the tenant. The property manager called the tenant on the day she vacated the property and the exit inspection was carried out to discuss our concerns. We also followed up by email the tenant the entry and exit condition report with accompanying photographic proof. So the tenant could clearly see the property did not appear anything like the photographs when she moved in. Unfortunately, the tenant is still not agreeing to return to the property, clean the house and remove the rubbish which has been dumped in the backyard. I would like to ask the tenant whether she had any more help, anyone who helped her supposedly clean the property, who could vouch for the fact that she attempted to clean the house and could that person have dumped the rubbish in the backyard. Also, is she willing at all to contribute at an amount towards the vacate costs for the internal cleaning and the property and backyard rubbish removal? The landlord is currently wanting to see the house cleaned up to the same standard as when the tenant moved into the property at the start of the tenancy, which is in line with Section 37 of the standard terms of the tenancy agreement. We have provided the tenant with quotes for the work which needs to be done to the property. It totals $900. The landlord is very reasonable and is willing to contribute $300 towards the quoted amount to assist the tenant in cleaning up the property. Therefore, the tenant would only need to contribute $600. Thanks for your time.